The Pirate King is the person whose death is always celebrated worldwide. Scopper Gaban loses his left arm just like Shanks, and Emu's own internal disease strikes yet again. But that's not just it, because Usopp is finally getting some kind of important thing in Elbaf. We're building up to something for Usopp. We're going to talk all about that and even more. So be sure to stick till the end. But before that, one small request, and that is to like this video, share this video with your fellow One Piece and anime fans, subscribe to our channel Any Emotion. Now let's get back into the main video. One Piece chapter 1190 started where 1189 left off, and this was the place where Scopper Gaban saved Luffy's life from Imu-sama. And not only Scopper blocked Imu's attack, he also left Luffy to escape after being stabbed twice by two different swords. Or normally the Void Sword and the Seeking Sword. And then Scopper Gaban put out his own form of Jinbei, where he just grabbed Luffy's neck and just tossed him apart, saying that his crew needs him. And this is what also Jinbei did after Marineford, where Luffy was going back in order to just beat up Akainu because he killed Ace. But again, Jinbei was the person at that time to just, tell Luffy that your crew still needs you, and this time it was Scopper Gaban. And again, later on the chapter, we also got to see that Scopper also became a Shanks and he lost his left arm. And already in this chapter, we are seeing two different callbacks to Luffy, and it is pretty interesting because after getting Gear 5th, Luffy, as we all know, became literally very unserious. Whenever he is in Gear 5th, he is always unserious. When he was fighting someone like the god of the world Emu, he became a genie. Then he got stabbed with the Void Sword, and then we know what happened. But this type of callbacks are going to be really important because Luffy never forget the past. And this is one thing, he'll definitely remember what Jinbei did for him after Marineford, because again, if Luffy went back, he would not be able to defeat Akainu, because during Marineford, Akainu was literally unstoppable. And it is the same thing here. Emu is too powerful and Luffy has to be at his best in both Devil Fruit power and his Conqueror's Haki ability powers. So if he is not using both of them, he has no chance in order to defeat Emu. And this callback might just help Luffy in order to come back to his real senses. The type of senses he had before Gear 5th. We all know before he unlocked Gear 5th, the Conqueror Haki battle between Kaido and Luffy. It was one of the most impressive battles in all of One Piece. And Luffy needs to get that seriousness back, but with his Toon powers, because again, Gear 5th is just too powerful, but along with his Conqueror level Haki, it is going to be extremely more powerful, and maybe at that time it is going to be something that will challenge Emu's power, because Emu right now looks really unstoppable. But a lot of buts. Emu is not actually unstoppable, because to the normal people of the One Piece world like Luffy, Loki, he is unstoppable, but his internal disease is again taking over himself, because he is again started to bleed even before he started his clash with Scopper Gaban. You see, when Scopper charged up his Haki, Emu started to bleed, and at that time, just before that panel, Emu's face was completely fine. It was not like Scopper hit him, and it is something that is coming up again and again, and Oda is not letting us forget that Emu is literally ill. His disease is Emu's biggest weakness. And Emu started to bleed out again, just like he started to bleed out when he really reached Elbaf. So maybe after using a certain amount of strength, Emu starts to bleed, or it could be the after effect of using Omen. I made a video just a few days back about Omen and why it is the real enemy and not Emu. Maybe Omen has its side effect of an internal disease that is literally killing Emu. Go and check that video out. It is probably the best theory I ever made in this channel, and literally it could become true within a few chapters. So be sure to check that out. But now let us talk back into One Piece chapter 1190. Now let us talk about Scopper Gaban, because in this panel where he just charged up his Conqueror's Haki, yes, this Haki is literally Conqueror's Haki. You should not get something like it is a powerful beam of Haki or powerful power up or build up of Haki. No, it is definitely Conqueror's Haki. So Scopper Gaban is again confirmed to be a Conqueror's Haki user. And this power which he displays is very good, because again, someone like Whitebeard, when he got aged, he could not access his Conqueror's Haki powers, because again, he was pretty ill. So Scopper is really fit at this age, because he could do the things someone like Whitebeard could not, because of again illness and probably fitness at some point as well. Now the attack used by Scopper Gaban is also pretty interesting, because it also has the word divine in it. And we all know that Roger used the attack called Divine Departure or Kamusari. And this is pretty interesting because maybe, just maybe, the whole Roger main trio had a divine related attack at some point. So is someone like Zoro and Sanji are also going to develop an attack which is really similar to Luffy's attack? Maybe their first initials would be the same. It is going to be pretty cool to see. And what about Shanks? So Shanks really copied Divine Departure just by seeing it as a kid. So could he be copied the attacks of both someone like Scopper Gaban and even Rayleigh? At this point, I'm very sure that Rayleigh is also going to have an attack that is related to the word Kamu or Divine. So it is going to be pretty interesting to see how much Shanks adopt. Did he just adopted someone like Roger's moveset, or he just got the moveset of every single Roger pirate member or the main pirate member such as Rayleigh and Scopper Gaban with him as well? Now let us talk about Scopper Gaban and Imu's chat, because again Imu is probably having some kind of internal disease attack, but my guy doesn't care. He's so confident that he's going to come and do whatever he pleases because he's that strong that he just starts to chat with people, although he might just be running out of time. And this time he starts to chat with Scopper Gaban. And the chat starts when Scopper mentions Joy Boy. And in a nutshell, Scopper said he doesn't give a freak about what Joy Boy did. It's all in the past. The one thing he cared about is his captain's will. And this is so good to see that Scopper is also upholding his captain's will even after someone like Roger passed away so many years ago. And this is somewhere that Imu just stops and asks him, hey, who is your captain? So he just mentioned his captain's name, that is Gold T. Roger. And probably from the panel we got to see of Imu's reaction to it. Imu doesn't like the D name. So whenever Roger became the Pirate King, it was also said that he is Gold Roger and not Gold D Roger. So Imu having problem with the D, but again someone like Garp is openly shown to have a D in his name, like Monkey D Garp, and then again Blackbeard, right? So why are those D's not being just, completely minimized or suppressed? Why are some people having the name D are given the free reign to use it, while some are being suppressed by the world government? So it will be a pretty interesting thing to see that which D Imu likes and which D he doesn't. So we are going to see that probably in the near future, because Oda is also giving us tabs about the D or the initial D in this week's chapter as well. And then it came to the final clash between Scopper Gaban and Imu. But before we go on to the final clash, there is one more thing, and that is Usopp is finally getting some kind of relevance in the couple of chapters we got to see. This chapter and even in 1189, he is the first person to sense something is wrong with Luffy, and now he is also the person to sense that something is going on wrong in that place where Imu and Scopper Gaban just fell after the Adam tree just broke from their clash. And again, it is good to see Usopp getting some kind of relevance, because again Usopp did not got any kind of relevance in so many years of One Piece. So it is always good to see Usopp doing at least something. And now when the dust settles, it was something like we missed the part where Imu just chopped off someone like Scopper Gaban's hand, but in the final moments of the chapter we got to see that Scopper is lying in the ground with his left hand missing. And this is something Oda always does. It is always the left hand, because again I think that it has been so many years that someone like Oda may just forget who loses whose hand or who loses what hand, to be more specific, at what period of time. And there could be more inconsistency in the drawing of the panels if he doesn't know who loses which hand. So everyone losing left hand is something that will give Oda more relief, because now he doesn't need to remember who loses which hand. Everyone loses the left hand. So it will make the whole chapters of One Piece even more consistent, because after so many years of just writing One Piece, someone might just forget some little details about who loses which kind of hand or what kind of limb they're losing. So everyone losing the left hand is some kind of positive I'll take from this chapter. But there is a small panel right before someone like Scopper just unleashed his massive attack, and it is the part where Imu summons the Omen attack again. So there is a small chance that the Omen was the thing that cut off someone like Scopper's hand and not Imu directly, and that is why it was probably not shown to us. It felt like Imu did it, or maybe it was just Omen, because again Omen can think of their own. So again, Omen is something I'm really curious about what the hell Omen actually is. So be sure to check out our Omen video again, because I explained every single one of my thoughts and connected every single dot to Emu and why Omen is again the main real villain, and you will get why I'm so excited to see Omen in action again and again and again. It is so fun. But again, enough self-promotion. This will be it for this week's video, and if you guys like this video, be sure to like this video, share this video to your fellow One Piece and anime fans, subscribe to our channel Any Emotion, that really helps us out. Now with that out of the way, I'm out. Peace.